Since we're on this topic, how often do you have athletes do blood work? Because like I've seen some younger athletes mention that, oh, my coach never really has me do blood work.
I try to do it twice a year. And you can go to Merrick Health /Troponin Nutrition or Troponin, or go to my website, Troponin Nutrition, and go to Bloodwork, and you can see the exact Merrick blood labs that I recommend. But I recommend twice a year. And when I recommend doing it, most of my athletes are on PEDs and then use TRT a portion of the year. So what I have them do is their whole off season we push, and then we take like 4-week break before they would start a contest prep, or actually it's about 8 weeks before contest prep. But at week 4 of that break, when they're on TRT, we'll get blood work, and if it looks good, then we know that they're going to be okay to start the contest prep. If it's not, then we continue on, focus on health, and test it again in 4 weeks, and then we do the contest. And then after the contest, I keep them kind of on like a mild amount of everything for 4 to 6 weeks to get take advantage of the post-contest rebound growth rates. And then we go back to TRT, and 4 weeks after that they test. So that would be the second time in the year.
How do athletes know? Because like there are guys that are listening that work with a coach, right? Who maybe does check their blood work, but there are guys that are listening that use PEDs and they're not working with anybody. So how do they know if they're fucking themselves up in a way if they're not? Like, do they just
have to get blood work? Yeah. But even then you can get, it's hard if you're just seeing a GP, because if you carry a lot of muscle, your creatinine is always going to be elevated. You know, it should still be at least close to normal range, but if you're 280 pounds, it's going to be very difficult to have it in normal range because creatinine levels are related to muscle mass. Yeah. And then worse, if the eGFR, the glomerular filtration rate they give you, is an estimated one, and it estimates using that creatinine value and the average muscle mass of a male or female. So you get doubly off. So you can get really bad kidney readings without having bad kidney function, which really sucks because the thing most people on PEDs really need to worry about is kidneys. Your liver can regenerate, you can get cholesterol stuff back together, but your kidneys go bad and your heart goes bad. That's it. Not much you can do. And so people see that, and like if a doctor knows that, they'll say your kidneys aren't really bad, and you can kind of let that snowball. But there's other things also, like if you're on an ACE inhibitor for blood pressure, that can often artificially increase creatinine levels. And so you really have to know what you're looking at, because like a hard training bodybuilder, say this actually has happened to me. Say me when I was actually training hard, I go and I get blood work and my creatinine is like 1.4. So my eGFR is like 57 or something. And my creatine kinase is sky high, and my AST and ALT are a little elevated. Well, the creatine kinase and AST and ALT from training recently, and if they're within a range you'd expect, because I had maybe a really hard leg workout yesterday. And then my actual like GFR, because this happened to me years ago, and I kind of panicked. I was like, because that's the first, because I'd never even seen a GFR. It was just always over 60, and it just said, over 60. And it said 57 or something. So I panicked. I asked to see a nephrologist, and he was like, no, this is why. And he did a 24-hour clearance test. And my true GFR was actually 135, he said, which is like better than it was supposed to be for my age. So I would recommend anyone listening, if you get a bad kidney blood work and you really want to know like what your actual filtration rate is, get a 24-hour clearance test.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Merrick Health, the premium telehealth clinic owned by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Now, when some people think about Merrick Health, they think it's just another one of those testosterone companies or another one of those blood work companies. But Merrick Health is really cool because, you can get your blood work done, you can get hormone optimization, but you can also get nootropics. You can also get Viagra. You can get literally whatever you need from that clinic. And they make it very, very easy for you. That's why we love Merrick. So, Andrew, how can people learn about it?
Yes, Merrick Health is not just a one-trick pony, but if you did want to get your labs done, we highly recommend the Power Project panel. That's 28 different labs. That's also going to come with a client care coordinator that's going to give you a lab analysis, and they're going to work with you and help you optimize your body. Again, that's at merrickhealth.com/powerproject. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save $101 off that entire panel. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Yeah, so I just think it's a terrible compound.
But some of these compounds might be part of the game if you're professional bodybuilder.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing, is there's only so much you can do, But if you're smart in the off season, you should be able to enter every contest prep with normal blood work for the most part, not elevated blood pressure. And the blood pressure is key, and try and raise his blood pressure too. But blood pressure is really the key, because that's what kills bodybuilders. Their kidneys and then heart. And what happens is if your blood pressure increases, obviously you have a garden hose and now it's pumping blood at a higher pressure. Well, at the end of the one end of that garden hose is like a coffee filter. That's your kidneys, If I have a nice slow flow through there, that coffee filter is going to catch all the gunk and let the water pass through, no problem. If I start blasting like a fire hose of pressure onto that, it's going to start ripping that coffee filter apart, and that's damaging the kidneys. And that's what happens. And then what ends up happening is those toxins don't get filtered out. Your kidneys aren't filtering urine as well. Your blood volume increases even more. Your blood pressure increases even more. Your heart has to pump against that. And the way the heart works is, it's this cavity, left ventricle. The muscle grows inside the cavity. So as your heart's working against a bigger weight, it's building muscle, and that cavity is getting smaller. The heart rate increases faster. Blood pressure increases even more, and eventually it goes into what's called like a dilated cardiomyopathy. The heart just starts dilating, all that back pressure, and it's trying to basically save itself any way it can. And then you get really rapid fluid accumulation, pitting edema in your lower legs, and eventually it ends in pulmonary edema, which if you notice, like how many times has a bodybuilder died and you heard, I just talked to him, he said he was getting over pneumonia. I just talked to him, he said he had some chest cold, but he thought he was getting over it, he was feeling better. It's always that, and that's what it is. It's pulmonary edema as an end stage of renal failure and heart failure. Yeah. And heart failure is misleading because it sounds like your heart failed. Heart failure, like I was in heart failure after the plane ride out here. My ankles were a little watery. That's just because for a period of time it wasn't able to keep up with the circulatory demands, and there's excess fluid accumulation. You go to an all-you-can-eat China buffet, you're in heart failure for a little bit afterwards. You're all bloated. But when it never goes away, that congested heart failure, that's when it starts getting bad. And the end stage of that is pulmonary edema and death.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.